Om Ajnanatimirandharam Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Paying obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, remembering the Srila Prabhupada on his disappearance day. Let us start our Bhakti Shastri class today. We are in the unit 1, the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, and today is the lesson 9. This is the second part of 5th chapter, text number 13 to 29. What we have done in the last class, this is about the 5th chapter beginning. Overview of progression through the Bhagavad Gita chapters 3 to 6. The chapter 3 starts with the Karma Yoga. 4th chapter continues to the Jnana Yoga. And now the Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Next comes the Dhyana Yoga. Then how a person gradually gets purified by performing the Vedic Yajnas. These things we have seen in the 3rd chapter. Falgu Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya. What is real renunciation? This is explained in the previous classes. Now, in the 5th chapter, Krishna is going to explain in the beginning that Karma Yoga is better than Karma Sannyasa. If you are working, it is better to work than completely give up the activity. But simply working for the senses is not correct. One should work for the pleasure of Lord Shri Krishna. Working for Lord Shri Krishna is called as Nishkama Karma, where Kama means desire. Hare Krishna, close the door. Now, somebody may ask, what is the need for practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga? If I am not going to get the result of my activity, why should I work? So the result of Nishkama Karma is Jnana. He develops the knowledge. When a person performs the activity only for the pleasure of the Lord, then that person will get purified and he will get the knowledge. And what is the benefit of this knowledge? Why we should develop this knowledge? This knowledge will help us to cut our relation or the entanglement from this material world. This knowledge, which is coming from Krishna, will give us the real identity of the soul and what is this material world and how it is temporary, how this material world is working. All these things are the knowledge which will help us to go back to Godhead. So this knowledge is very, very important. How we gain this knowledge? By performing the Nishkama karma. So this is where the Karma Yoga is transforming into Jnana Yoga. Now, okay, relationship is explained in the 13 to 16, that is Ishvara, that is the Lord, Jiva, all of us, and the Prakriti, the nature. What is the relation between these things? Okay, that this will be explained today, 13 onwards. Then vision of a Jnani, how a Jnani will see this material world, and introduction to Dhyana Yoga, that is the next coming chapter, chapter number 6. Finally, Krishna is giving the peace formula. If anybody wants to become peaceful, how to become peaceful in this world? What is the vision we should have over this material world so that we can become peaceful? That is the last sloka of this chapter. Now, what is the cause of suffering? The Lord neither hates nor likes anyone, though he appears to. Lord is not creating our karma. Lord doesn't say anyone to go away, or he doesn't say he will not keep anybody away from doing the devotional service to him. This is given in the Vedanta Sutra. Then who is creating the suffering? So what is the cause of our suffering? If we see the text number 4.14 and 5.14 to 15, we can get an idea how we are suffering in this material world. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha itimam yobhijanati karma bhirna sabadhate, which means that Krishna doesn't get entangled with the karma phala, the result of his activity. Whoever understands Krishna in this manner, he will also doesn't get entangled with the result of his activity. And in the 14th and 15th text, we can see, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma phala sanyogam sabhavastu pravartate na datte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanena vratam jnanam tena mohyanti jantavaha. So this is a activity. So what you have to do, draw images showing who is responsible for the suffering of the living entity. If Krishna is not the person who is creating the karma or creating the suffering for the living entity, then who is creating the suffering? Reference to the Sanskrit verses, statements and analogies from the purports you can use. There are 13 people here. I'll make three groups, breakout room. You have 3 minutes for discussion, 2 minutes for presentation. Any doubts, any questions regarding the, okay, Akhila Mataji?
Prabhuji, that drawing should be like drawing general example can we take, or it should be like according to purpose?
No, whatever you have understood, based on that, you have to do.
General example I can take it, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
The question has to be answered, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, there are 3 groups. 3 minutes for discussion, 2 minutes for presentation. Your time starts now. Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the session. Yeah, Archana Mataji, you can start. Mataji, you are not audible.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
This is my diagram. Lord Krishna is above all the three modes of material nature.
Okay.
A person is entangled by Sattva, Rajo and Tamo Guna.
Yeah.
Though he is, when he is more entangled by Tamo Guna, he is more suffering.
Okay.
So I have depicted.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Next, Siddharth Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So
Hare
I don't have I don't know whether it is visible. Is
we need to remove the this one background.
Okay. Background, okay. Again, that's an issue by the time. Where to do it?
Video near the video setting background.
Video setting, okay. Oh yes.
Blur my background. No, Prabhu just removed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You have ticked blur my background. Just tick it, it will go.
Click on none.
None. Where I've done it, I don't know. Mirror my video. Recording video.
Background
Settings.
effects.
Ground effects. Oh, I'm taking time. I'm sorry. So somebody can start by the time.
Okay, shall we move to Mataji? Akhila Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this is the diagram.
Okay.
See, this person is like businessman.
Okay.
Businessman always engaged in doing like earning money.
Yeah.
Like he always used to neglect his health. Neglect his health, and for silly reason he used to take a strong dose of drugs like antibiotic, antihistamine.
Okay.
Because of that, no, he used to neglect, and the meanwhile of strong dose, finally at the age of 40, 50s, he ended up with liver damage and kidney failure, kidney problems.
Yes.
For that, no, he can't blame on the Lord or even doctor or even society, because it is his person. He did that. His like a path was different. His path was his path was not perfect. So similarly, whatever like our like in the evil work, we can't blame on Lord, because we are like Anuatma. He's like Vibhuatma. The super soul, he is with us. He's with us. Like he is not responsible for our desires or anything. But we can't blame on him. And his constant companion. He's like constant companion with us, and but neutral with everyone. He never do partiality and never treat inferiority or inferior or superior to anyone. Like only thing is we have to those who desire Sri Krishna will take special care and elevates and like remove from all type of ignorance.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Is it visible? I think little bit.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
So we have two pictures. One is, number one here. Lord Krishna is there. So
Yes.
he doesn't get affected. He doesn't get any name limpanti karmani. So no karma affects him. Name karma pales pruha. So he is not attached to any karma. He's creating some of the universe, some everything he's creating. Here, I think I have given the picture of various planets and entire creation, but he's not getting affected. And however, picture number 2, here, I don't know it is clear or not. Yeah, here, so persons who are thinking about food, too much of food, then they're getting a particular kind of life or even afterlife. Then people who are in ignorance and because of various modes of nature, they get the same result in this life as well as in afterlife. Like absolute ignorance will result in becoming a tree. So there's a tree kind of a situation that is afterlife. Even in this life also there are tension because of 3 modes of nature. And the last thing is that this knowledge, if someone knows that Krishna doesn't get affected, name karma pada limpanti, if this knowledge sits in our mind, then this knowledge itself na badhyate. This is a rope, so he doesn't get entrapped by that rope of attachment or rope of the Maya. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Pooja Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just addition to Akhila Mataji, we were in the same group, Prabhuji, but just telling that whatever she has said, just addition to that this is the because of karma and ignorance, whatever that person's suffering was because of the ignorance. So qualitatively, we are like Lord Krishna, but Krishna has given us independence. Ball is in our court. We have to decide that both the prakritis, para and apara, are made by Lord Krishna. We have to decide, and it is the Krishna consciousness which can really lead us to the right path. And the suffering is because of Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. So if we don't consider it that Maheshwar, he is the Bhokta. And if somebody considers that I am Bhokta, I have done this, because of me, this is all, is there, then it is like that you have to suffer also. So whatever the desire of all 84 lakhs yonis, what we pass through, whatever, this is all because of the desires we are having. So if one has that desire, then one goes through all this cycles. So Prabhupada has really given one example. When he was passing through, then he was passing on a road. He saw somebody was doing a fishing, and fishing, when he saw that his next Janma is decided that he will be a fish because he is enjoying that fishing. So this is how one can get, and this is connected. So the suffering can lead to the, whatever you want to get the happiness from, that can lead to the suffering. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Siddharth Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
I have already said Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. You are not lowered your hand.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I will do it.
I'm lowering my hand. So if Ramesh Prabhu or anyone wants to speak of my team, they can.
Yes, please, Prabhu, you can raise your hand. Okay. So if you, okay, Ramesh Prabhu, you can please unmute yourself.
I think Prabhuji covered everything. The only thing is, Lord is omnipotent, and then we are inferior. So Lord is superior, and we are inferior. And I think the other bit was, all these sufferings which we get. So it is due to the interaction with the 3 modes of material nature and our past karma process. So I think that's the thing which I wanted to add.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, let us continue our discussion. who is responsible for our suffering. Now, everything that happens in our life, it has to be sanctioned by the Lord. Otherwise, nothing can go. Because Krishna is the supreme sanctioner. The Lord is present in our heart as a Paramatma, and he has two activities. One is Anumanta, other one is Upadrishta. Anumanta means he has to sanction. Either you want to do good or bad, whatever it may be, you want to do sense gratification or serving the Lord, it has to be sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is the supreme cause, Sarva Karana Karanam. And he has also one more activity that is called Upadrishta. Whatever we do, he will be like a witness. Krishna will witness everything, the Lord, in the form of Paramatma in our heart. But even though Krishna is the sanctioner, the result will not go to him, because the desiring is done by the soul or the Jivatma, the living entity. Because the living entity is desiring, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is sanctioning it. If we don't desire, he will not sanction it. And Krishna is the unique person. If we don't have our work to be done through one person, we can go to another person in this material world. But that doesn't work with the Lord, because it is the Lord only who has to sanction. Otherwise, no activity can be performed. So in that sense, Krishna is the sanctioner. But even though he is sanctioning all the activities, he will not get entangled with it. The person who has desired it, he has to take the reaction. Just like the parents. The parents will sanction whatever the children ask. In the beginning, the parents will say, this is not good, you don't do this. This is good, you can do this. Some advice you can give. But if still the children insist, I want to do this, then the parents will give them one chance. Okay, you do it, and then by experience, you learn it. Now, if anything goes wrong, or if there is some suffering comes to the child, the Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
now.
Okay, there is some problem here. Okay. So that is, the child will be made responsible. So Srila Prabhupada is giving an example here. An example of a thief. Can anyone read this? You can raise your hand. Please raise your hand.
Can I, Prabhu?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, you can.
Your responsibility. Just like a thief, he's praying to God, my dear Lord, give me some opportunity. I can steal that thing. Krishna, first of all, says, no, don't do it. But he insists. Then Krishna says, all right, do it. But as soon as you do it, you become entangled. Why are you doing against the will of Krishna? That is your entanglement. Krishna is giving you facility to steal others' property, but you become entangled. That is not Krishna's responsibility, your responsibility. Bhagavad Gita 2.24, Hyderabad, November 28, 1972. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada is explaining here, the thief, if a thief wants to steal, he needs Krishna's permission. If a murderer has to kill someone, then also he needs the permission of the Lord. But what Krishna is doing, he will, being in the heart as a Paramatma, he will give the knowledge. He will give the instruction. Don't do this. We say this as Atma Sakshi. If we are able to hear this, then there is always guidance from the Lord. Do this, don't do this. This is correct, this is wrong. You can do this, you can't do this. So when we are able to hear this, we will be always in the right path. But what happens if our desire is very strong, I have to do something, then even though the Lord is saying something, we don't listen to it. Either we don't listen to it, or we will make so much of noise, or we'll degrade our consciousness so much that we can't hear the Lord. The Lord in the heart is called as Chaitya Guru. He is also the spiritual master. The spiritual master gives the instruction. Similarly, Paramatma also is giving the instruction. Every moment he is giving the instruction. Every step of our life he is giving the instruction. This is correct, this is wrong. But what happens? We will create so much of noise. What is this noise? Our desires, our lust, our anger. This creates so much of noise that we will not be able to hear this. And when Krishna gives the instruction for the first time, he will very clearly tell, this is not correct, don't do this. But if we neglect his instruction, then the intensity with which he is instructing, it will come down. We don't feel that the instruction is so important as we go on doing the sinful activity. Just like a person, when he does any sinful activity for the first time, he will have a lot of guilty feeling, or he will not be able to do it. He has a lot of difficulty. But as he practices more and more, it will become a part of his system, and killing or stealing, telling lie, all this becomes the part of his system. And even though the Paramatma is giving so much of instruction, he will not be able to hear that, or he will not be listening to it. Now, whose mistake is this? This is not Krishna's mistake, because Krishna is giving the instruction, and because he is the sanctioner, he is the one and only person who has to sanction, then he only has to do this. And by doing so, Krishna is giving us an opportunity to take experience and learn. But this experiential learning will take a lot of time. We can't make each and every mistake in our life and learn from it. An intelligent person, he has to hear. By hearing, if somebody is able to understand something, then he is the first-class person. At least if you can't hear, you should learn by seeing. Just like a thief who is stealing. There is instruction from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. It says that if you steal, you'll be punished. Now, by hearing, somebody understands, okay, he will not entangle in that activity. But somebody he has heard it, but he will doubt it, whether it is true or not. Then he is able to see somebody has stolen something and he is getting punished now. This is seeing. Now, by seeing, we should at least learn what is correct or not. And third class is a person who is learning by doing it. This is like animals. If you tell an animal, don't come here, or don't eat this, or don't disturb, he will not understand. You have to take a stick and chase him away. Then only he will understand. That is experiential learning. And worse than that is, even after getting the facility for hearing, and you see that people are getting punished, and you yourself get experience that it is wrong, still a person is not able to give up the activity or give up the mistakes, then that is worse than that. So this is like a person getting addicted to any bad habits like alcohol or drugs. He knows that it is wrong. He has seen that people are getting suffering, and he has himself has experienced, but still he is not able to give up because he got addicted to it. Now, so none of these are, we can make Krishna as the responsible person. It is the person who has developed that mode, either it is ignorance or the passion, whichever mode he has come under, because of which this suffering is going on. Ramesh Prabhu, you can read it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. He can give you permission, but the enjoyment and suffering will have to be taken by you. You insist, permission, I want to do this, and without permission, you can't do it. Therefore, Krishna gives you permission. All right, you do it. but at your risk. Krishna does not want that you should do it, but you want to do it. Therefore, he gives permission. Bhagavad Gita 13.23, Bombay, October 22, 1973. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yoga ladder. It may be compared to the ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to the perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of ladder are known by different names. But all in all, the complete ladder is called Yoga 6.3 Perfect. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. This is the next topic. Yoga ladder. Ladder is the one which will help us to elevate in height. If you want to climb something, you can use the ladder and go up. We may be at very lowest position, that is, we'll be standing on the ground, and it can elevate us as per its capacity or its height, whatever length you have the ladder. Similarly, there is a ladder in spiritual life also for elevating oneself. In the basic state of life, a person who is living by sense gratification, who is working hard by earning and making use of the wealth, whatever he has earned for his own sense gratification, he is called as a karmi. Karma means one who acts, one who is doing some activity. Karma means activity. Karmi means one who is performing the activity and the result is being enjoyed by himself. It's a karmi life. Like animals only. The animals also do ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna. This person is also doing ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna. But when he comes to know that this karma or activity will give some reaction, and this reaction can be good reaction or bad reaction. Now, how to understand this karma and how to make this always in favor to me? I want always profit, but sometimes my business goes wrong and I will get loss also. Why this is happening? Even though I take all the precautions, the things will not go according to my plan. Why? If he is little intelligent, if he is inquisitive, he will come to know that the material world is being run by the demigods, or there is some higher power who is overseeing everything. And the result of our activity is being given by them. It is not only by our own endeavor. When a person comes to know this, then he will think that how can I make these people who are controlling the material world or controlling all the activity in my favor? For that, you need to go for Vedas, the book of knowledge. What does it say? It will explain how to live in this material world so that you can become happy. You can perform certain kind of sacrifice for satisfying different kinds of demigods. And when these demigods get satisfied, they will give some reward. This is like a business. I'll do something for you and you do something, something good for me. So in this way, there is a give and take between the human being and the demigods or the people who are having higher power. But still, this is karma kanda. Why karma kanda is used? Because all these things are surrounding the sense gratification. Sense gratification is the root cause, or it is at the center. And around that, we are doing all kinds of endeavor. Now, there is a problem with this also. Whatever we gain through this karma kanda, it will not give us permanent solution, or it will not make us permanently happy. Because whatever amount of fuel you put to the fire, the fire will not get extinguished or fire will not get satisfied. It will become more and more, it will increase its flame, and it will ask for more and more. Similarly, any kind of or any quantity of sense gratification we may get, the senses will not say enough. It will say, I need more, I need more, I need more. It goes on. You need to give more and more and more. So karma kanda will not make someone happy. By sense gratification, one cannot become happy. Ehi samsparshaja bhoga dukhayonaye evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. A person who is intelligent, he will not entangle himself in the sense gratification. And when you are trying to satisfy the demigod using the sacrifices, there are chances that you may commit mistake. And these mistakes will be taken very seriously and person has to suffer. The example is there in the Krishna book, the Nriga, who was doing the sacrifice, and he was doing the charity of giving the cows. So as we know the story, he gave one cow for 2 brahmanas. A cow, he donated few thousands of cows, and one of them came back, and the same cow he donated to another person. Because of that, there is a mistake, and he had to become a lizard in his next life. This is the result of karma kanda. Now, the next question arises, how can I have a solution for this? Then you have to bring the yoga. That's called karma yoga. What happens in karma yoga? Whenever you use the word yoga, it means to connecting the soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is yoga. So how to make your karma as a yoga? By giving the result of activity to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, if we give the result of our activity to Krishna, then whatever happens because of that activity, the responsibility will go to Krishna. He will take care of the result and we will not get entangled. And Krishna, anyhow, he will not get entangled by the activity. So there is no reaction. There is no material reaction when we do the karma yoga, the result of our activity. The example is given, a soldier who is fighting for the nation. He may kill so many opponents, so many enemies he might have killed, but he will not be punished. Rather, he will be rewarded for fighting. That is called karma yoga. That is acting for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as we have discussed in the beginning, what is the result of this karma yoga or nishkama karma yoga? A person gains knowledge. The knowledge required for detaching this from this material world will be given to the person who performs this nishkama karma yoga. Now, nishkama karma yoga also gives the result, whatever needed for us. That is, Krishna becomes our overseer or our protector. Whatever needed for us, Krishna will give, and whatever we have, he will protect. That is, ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. So Krishna will take care of us. We should not think that if I give up all the result of my activity, what do I get? Definitely Krishna will protect us. So in this way, this karma yoga will help us connect to Krishna through the activity, through the karma. And this jnana yoga, which we will gain after doing this karma yoga, will help us to detach from this material world. So attaching to Krishna is done in karma yoga. Detachment from material world is done through the jnana yoga. What is this jnana? Jnana will give us the understanding of the soul, the super soul, and how to re-establish our lost connection with the super soul. All these things are coming under jnana yoga. Once a person gets the knowledge, then what will happen? Our mind automatically get attracted to Krishna. If we come to know that such and such person is there in the city, he is very rich person, he is very famous, he is very knowledgeable, he is very powerful. These all are Bhagavan features. So even if materially somebody is having these, possessing certain qualities like this, then people will go and meet them, or they want to see them, or they want to have some give and take with them. So in this way, they try to have some relation with that person. Now, a person, when he comes to know from this knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has all the 6 opulences full, 100%, then his mind automatically gets attracted to Krishna without doing any extra endeavor. That is the next step, is called Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana means contemplation. A person starts contemplating on Krishna. But the problem is our mind is very difficult to control. Even though I want to keep my mind on Krishna, the mind is not ready to concentrate on one object. It will start flickering. Sometimes it will go to spirituality, sometimes it will go to material things. So the mind wants something change every time. Sometimes here, sometimes there. How to control this mind and fix in Krishna's service, that will be taught in the next chapter. And once a person is effectively practicing this Dhyana Yoga, that means constant contemplation on the Lord. This can be done in the mechanical way or spontaneous way. The mechanical way is Ashtanga Yoga: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. This is the mechanical way of concentrating the mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And spontaneously, we can keep our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. In the association of the devotees, we can do the hearing of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, the chanting, the Sankirtan, all these things, whatever Srila Prabhupada has taught us. This is the direct process which can be practiced by everyone. In this way, reaching to Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. A person who reaches to Bhakti Yoga from this Karma Kanda is the first step. Bhakti Yoga is the goal. Bhakti Yoga, once a person reaches this Bhakti Yoga, his life is perfect. Because after going back to Godhead, we do only this Bhakti Yoga, serving the Lord without any expectation. So when a person comes to this Bhakti Yoga, he has all the previous activities. Whatever activity he is doing, Karma Yoga, it is for the pleasure of the Lord. And he has all the knowledge of this material world and the spiritual world. He knows what is the position of the soul and what is the relation between soul and super soul. And he is constantly thinking of the Lord, just like Yashoda Mata or Nanda Maharaj, Devaki, Vasudeva, all these pure devotees of the Lord, they are always thinking of the Lord. That is Dhyana Yoga. So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, all these are a part of this Bhakti Yoga. If somebody is very fortunate to get the association of a pure devotee, he can directly come to Bhakti Yoga, through which he can achieve all the previous steps. Just like a person who has climbed the topmost level in the ladder, it is understood that he has already climbed the lower steps. A person who has done his degree, it is understood that he has already cleared his 10th standard. In that way, if somebody is reaching Bhakti Yoga, it is the final step, or it is the ultimate goal of life. Somebody may stop at Karma Yoga, then he is called as Karma Yogi. He is doing the activity and giving up for the pleasure of the Lord. Somebody is reached the Jnana Yoga level, then he is called as Jnana Yogi. Somebody has reached the Dhyana Yoga level, then he is a Dhyana Yogi or a Hatha Yogi. But when he has reached the Bhakti Yoga platform, then he is called as a devotee or Bhakta. That is the yoga ladder. These are different links between the yoga systems. So this yoga ladder will help anyone. A person may be in any state of life. he may be living like an animal, he can come to the state of Bhakti Yoga. And going back to Godhead is the purpose is to perform Bhakti Yoga. The real Bhakti begins after liberation. Whatever Bhakti now we are doing, it is full of fault. Just like a child is learning to cook. First time when somebody is learning to cook, he or she will be making so much of mistakes. If you make a chapati, either the chapati is half burnt or it is overcooked. But as you go on practicing more and more, you will become perfect in that. Similarly, when our bhakti becomes perfect, we will go back to Godhead. Or in another word, another way of telling, when we go back to Godhead, our devotion to Krishna comes to the perfection. Pooja Mataji, can you read this, please?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, just a minute. Yes.
Prabhuji, yes. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Yes, the gradual process of yoga system, Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga means fruitive activities, pious activities or prescribed activities. Then by performing Karma Yoga, one comes to the platform of Jnana Yoga, knowledge, and from knowledge to this Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. Then from Ashtanga Yoga, concentrating the mind on Vishnu, come to the point of Bhakti Yoga. Bhagavad Gita 6.46-47, Los Angeles, February 21, 1969. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, this is a yoga ladder. Lata Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. 5.2 purport. When Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, that stage is called the Jnana Yoga. 6.47 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Karma is done by ignorant person, as well as karma is also done by a person who is in knowledge. But the real karma, real activity is done in knowledge. When a person gets the knowledge, he should not give up the activity. That is the misunderstanding what Arjuna got at the end of 2nd chapter. When Krishna glorified the knowledge, jnana, Arjuna thought that there is no need of doing karma when you have the jnana. But your actual karma will begin when you have jnana. If you are doing something in the ignorance, then that activity is not perfect. But when you are doing something in knowledge, then your activities are perfect. Siddharth Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Process of Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means to keep in touch with the Supreme by speculation of higher knowledge. That discriminating what is spirit and what is matter. Bhagavad Gita 2.48-49, New York, April 1, 1966. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
I have a question. Should I ask later on?
Yeah, we'll keep at the end, Prabhu. Yeah. So this is the jnana. Jnana means which will help us to discriminate. The discriminating power is called as knowledge. We do so many mistakes in our life. So if you are able to understand that it is mistake or whether it is right or not, then our knowledge is good. But if we are thinking that whatever things are right to be wrong or wrong to be right, those all are the knowledge in ignorance. That will not help us. So this knowledge, what is explained here, it will help us to discriminate, or it will help us to get detached from this material world and attach ourselves to the service of Krishna. Anybody like Pooja Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Jnana Yoga, when the linking process is predominantly empirical, it is called Jnana Yoga. BG 6.46 purport, empirical based on observation, Oxford Dictionary. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that is Jnana Yoga. When a linking process is predominantly empirical, is called as Jnana Yoga. Ramesh Prabhu.
Process of Jnana Yoga. Yehi samparsa jab hoga dukhayona evate adya antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Bhagavad Gita 5.22. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the position of a jnani, or it is called intelligent person. An intelligent person is able to understand that the material sense gratification cannot make me happy permanently. There is a momentarily pleasure that we get, but that pleasure is not lasting long, and it will give the misery. That means dukkha yonaya evate. Finally, it will give problem. A person who is engaging himself in the sense gratification, he will enter into the animalistic life. Dukkha yonaya evate. Dukkha yoni means animal life. Adyantavanta kaunteya. There is a beginning and end. So nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha means one who is intelligent. Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Jnana Yoga to Dhyana Yoga. When Jnana Yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga Yoga, 6.47 perfect. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this will be explained in the next chapter, 6th chapter, the Ashtanga Yoga, how to fix the mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a person is able to remember Krishna constantly, then this is the form that we can see in the heart. This is the form of the Paramatma, four-handed form. In this way, the yoga ladder will give different results. A person who has performed karma yoga, he can get Brahman realization. A person who is in jnana yoga, he can also reach Brahman realization. And when he does dhyana, that is the meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he will get Paramatma realization. And further, if you continue, you will reach the Bhakti Yoga. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The yoga systems. Factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. Purport 6.47. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Here, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate. Now, if somebody is going to Bhakti Yoga directly, it is wonderful. But the problem is, Bhakti Yoga looks very simple. It is making very easy. But the result is ultimate. It is the final perfection it will give. Because Bhakti Yoga looks very simple, people will take it very lightly, or they may not understand its value. Then we have to go through the other yoga systems and understand what is the difficulty in those yoga system and how it is incomplete when we don't come to Bhakti. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Whatever we offer to the Lord, if we don't have Bhakti in it, then it is incomplete. Either you are doing Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, if the purpose is to serve the Lord, then it is correct. But if you are not having the purpose to serve the Lord, or if you don't have any tinge of bhakti in it, then it cannot be considered as spiritual at all. Now, bhakti yoga, even though it is simple, people don't take it seriously. But when they learn that karma yoga, how it is performed, how to come to jnana yoga, then how to perform dhyana yoga, then you will get bhakti yoga. That time they will understand, oh, bhakti yoga is so high, so great. One can get it only after so much of endeavor. Lord Krishna also doesn't give the bhakti immediately, because we don't value it. If we some of the doctors, if the patients come to them, they'll just give some advice. They'll ask them to change their lifestyle and drink more water, take more rest. You don't need any chemical medicines, that allopathic medicines. Your health will be all right. Just take some medicines. They'll say like that. But the patient will not listen. No, doctor, my disease is very big. You have to give me a lot of medicine. That will be their intention. They may not speak like that. But they will not get satisfied. So they expect something, some injection or some bitter medicine, something to be given. Then only they'll realize that, oh, okay, now I'm getting cured. That feeling comes. Similarly, a person who is a karmi, he has to continue to karma kanda, go through the varnashrama system, and he has to elevate his consciousness, then come to the knowledge through the nishkama karma yoga. And from the knowledge, he has to understand the importance of meditation. Then he has to actually do the meditation. For doing meditation, he has to perform Ashtanga yoga, 8 limbs. Then from there, the mind becomes very fixed on the object, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he develops the love for the Lord. That is Bhakti Yoga. So if we are coming directly to Bhakti Yoga, it is wonderful. Or at least one must practice this yoga ladder and come to Bhakti. Yeah, who will read this? Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Formula for peace. The conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusionary energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world, but they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of the Bhagavad Gita 5.29 purport. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Now this is the peace formula that Krishna is giving. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim richati. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all the yajna and tapas, the austerity and penance. Sarvaloka maheshwaram. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the controller of the whole creation. Suhridam sarvabhutanam. He is the well-wisher of everyone. Jnatva mam shantim richati. If we understand Krishna in this way, a person will come to the happiness, or he will become peaceful. What kind of friend? Krishna is considered as here Suhridam. I am Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. I am the well-wisher, Suhrid. He wants how you shall be happy. Suhrid. Mitra, it is like social friendship. Bandhu means official friendship. But Suhrid means one who actually desires good for his friend. Then he is considered as Suhrid. So Krishna is the Suhrid here. He is the friend, because in English we have only one word, that is friend. Yes, Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, formula for peace. Sincere friend, which you describe in English. So Krishna is Suhrid. He is always expecting my good. How I shall be good. Therefore, he is canvassing me. Please, you surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 2.2025, Seattle, October 14, 1968. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of this chapter with the peace formula, how to become peaceful in the material world by practicing Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask the questions. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji 5.2 says karma sannyasat in comparison to the renunciation of fruitive work. Here karma sannyasat means results of fruitive work or fruitive work.
Completely giving up the activity. That is karma sannyasa.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You don't do anything. You don't cook at home. That is karma sannyasa. Karma yoga means you cook at home, but eating or not, it's your optional. If you want to fast, you can fast, but still you have to cook for the people who are at the home, present at home. Because you take karma sannyasa, that doesn't mean that people who are there at home, they also has to fast. That is wrong. So karma sannyasa means you don't do any. Okay, there is some problem with my system. Am I audible?
Yes, now Prabhuji, you're audible.
Okay. So karma sannyasa means completely giving up activity, which is not recommended. Karma yoga means giving up only the result of the activity, but performing the activity prescribed in the Shastra. Hope this answers your question, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Siddharth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I have another question, but from this answer, one question is coming to my mind. Actually, this is what we hear and continuously try to practice, that we have to give the results to Krishna. So how to get a practical example of it? Like how to give result?
Yat karoshi yadashnasi yadjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasasi kaunteya tatkurusha madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you perform, whatever you give, everything you do in the name of Krishna. We eat every day, we cook at home, offer it to the Lord. We earn for our livelihood, offer a part of it for the pleasure of the Lord. We go out every week or once in a month, we go out to get some free of mind, just to get some stress-free life. You can go to the temple and you can be associated with the devotees and take the association, and you can perform devotional service. So whatever you have, whatever possibilities are there in life, everything you connect to Krishna, then that becomes karma yoga.
No, I think I know succeeding question to it. Okay, one thing is that, okay, like when I'm eating, or when any devotee is eating, he can think that every bite he enjoys, he's saying that he can think, okay, he's enjoying, I'm enjoyed, he's enjoying, I'm enjoyed. That can happen. But let's say I'm sending a mail in official setup. So how do I give this to Krishna?
Yes, this is called the capacity of a devotee. Based on the capacity of a devotee, he can convert matter into spirit. If we are neophyte, we cannot convert everything into spirit. Srila Prabhupada could convert everything, whatever possibility, whatever opportunity came in his life, he converted everything into service to Krishna. That is how one can perform, or how good one is in performing the devotional service. For that, we have to take the instructions from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. If somebody is capable of doing that, every moment of his life is being a service to the Lord, then that is perfection. But we are not at that point. Now we are working outside and we are making our life by serving someone, then that may not be directly a devotional service. But by giving a portion of that in the service of Krishna, it can also be a service to Krishna. But if you take the example of Srila Prabhupada, whoever came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, he made them devotees. That is possible only for Acharya. We cannot do that. Prabhupada used to write so many letters to his devotees, to his disciples. And whatever letters he has written, that is preserved. Now also it is available. It will be read like, as we read Srimad Bhagavatam, people read Srila Prabhupada's letters, the instructions. So that is how even writing a letter for him is a devotional service to Krishna, because he is guiding his devotees. But we are working in the material world, so it may not be directly connecting to the devotional service. But gradually we can achieve this.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad.
Pooja Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I in that thief slide, the story of thief, one sentence was there.
Your audio is breaking. Can't hear. Nandita Mataji, can you hear?
Prabhuji.
No, no, no.
No, Pooja Mataji, now if you can say, we couldn't hear anything.
Mataji, you can mute your video so that your bandwidth may be increased. Okay, meanwhile, Anu Mataji, you can ask the question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, work in devotion is as per our prescribed duties, and renunciation of work is when you take sannyas, fire is not burned. They are Agnihotra sannyasis. They cannot cook for themselves. They only do preaching and sadhana. So Prabhupada, the God is saying that it is better that you are a grahastha and do your prescribed duties and do not take a sannyas. Is that right?
No, Mataji. Sannyasi is also, for a grihastha, he himself, his wife, his children, his house is a family. For a sannyasi, whole world is a family. He is giving up this small family to take up the service of big family. So there is no question of giving up activity. The real sannyasi, he is doing all kinds of activity for the benefit of the entire world. So taking sannyasa is like broad-mindedness. He is very liberal. Getting into grihastha life, it is like his comfortability. Just like everyone cannot renounce the world. Somebody is comfortable in the grihastha life. Somebody is comfortable in the brahmachari ashram. Then they get directly from brahmachari to sannyasa ashram. That is their comfortability of practicing Krishna consciousness. Both are recommended. There we have Narad Muni, we have Ambarish Maharaj. Narad Muni is a brahmachari. He has never got married. Ambarish Maharaj, even though he was a king, he was a rajarshi. He was performing all the service to the Lord. So either you are in grihastha life or in the in the sannyasa ashram, whether you are performing devotional service to Krishna or not, that becomes more important than the ashram which you have chosen. Hare Krishna. Does
Hare
it?
Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Meaning both Narad Muni and Ambarish were equal?
Yes, Mataji, definitely. Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies both.
But Narad Muni was in a higher position.
No, that we think like that. Narad Muni is the guru for Vyasadeva. But Narad Muni himself gives his previous life example, how he came to became Narada. But if we see Srimad Bhagavatam, Ambarish Maharaj is also glorified. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. He is a person who has performed all the 9 kinds of bhakti. Now with the bhakti, he has done all the 9. And Lord himself has sent the Sudarshana Chakra to protect Ambarish Maharaj. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, there are grihasthas, there are sannyasis. Both are there. They have their own role to play. If you take any acharya in our Vaishnava Sampradaya, they had grihastha devotees, they had sannyasa devotees. They have not discriminated. Even in ISKCON also, There is no discrimination. Grahasthas have their own role to play, and sannyasis have their own role to play. You cannot do, one person cannot replace with another.
So a sannyasi can cook in ISKCON?
Yes, Mataji, for the Lord, sannyasis are cooking.
Okay.
For the Lord, as a, it is also becoming a yajna. Prabhupada performed marriages in the Western world when it was needed. Because Western world, they did not know what is the purpose of marriage. Then Prabhupada himself he has written in Srimad Bhagavatam. This has to, I think in Bhagavad Gita, somewhere it is written. Prabhupada has to perform this because generally sannyasis don't perform marriage ceremony and they don't participate also. But Prabhupada had to do that as a service to Lord. That also becomes devotional service.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Puja Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. I got disconnected actually. My question was on that thief slide. That sentence I was little, I could not get it. That Krishna has given the facility to steal others' property. So how could we really relate that?
Yeah, Krishna has to sanction. Otherwise, it will not happen. And we are so stubborn that until our desire is fulfilled, we will not learn. Child, unless he eats ice cream and gets the throat pain, he will not learn that eating ice cream is bad. Then what to do? The parents will sanction. Okay, you eat. Now, child has, even though child may have another option. If the father is not giving, okay, let me go to uncle and get it. But for us, Krishna is the only sanctioner. So only he has to sanction. Nobody else is there. So you can't blame him. Because of his position, he has to do it. The judge in the court, he has to give the punishment for a person who has committed murder. You can't blame the judge because judge is doing his duty. He is the only person who can do it. You cannot ask somebody else to do it. So Krishna is the only person who can do this in the form of Paramatma. He has to sanction. So you can't blame him.
So it is mainly that who sanctions. Given the facility means Krishna has to sanction.
Yes, Mataji. Even if somebody wants to murder someone, there is a sanction of the Lord. Otherwise, it will not happen.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji, got it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ramesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, currently, I think majority of us are doing sadhana bhakti, right, Prabhu? So whatever is being told to us, we are doing.
Yes.
So where does this fit in, Prabhu? So in this yoga ladder, does that actually reach this yoga ladder anywhere, or it's out of this yoga ladder?
We are doing karma yoga.
Okay.
From that karma yoga, we are slowly we are learning to come to the nishkama karma yoga. Even though we are doing the service to Krishna, still there may be some tinge of sense gratification or some motives, personal motives. That means still we are struggling. And when a person completely gives up the result of his activity, he will come to the Nishkama Karma Yoga, then he gains the knowledge. We have not yet got the complete knowledge. If we have got the knowledge, if we are really realized what Krishna told Arjuna, that you are not this body, you are spirit soul, we will not live like this. Our lifestyle will be different. So we only have the theoretical knowledge. We don't have practical knowledge. So we are at the Karma Yoga state now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Karma Yoga is also incomplete. It is not completely we are taken. We are just started. But the process which is given by Srila Prabhupada, it is supporting. The chanting of Hare Krishna, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, following 4 regulative principles, these all are like supporting it so that we will come to the perfection.
Okay. Understood, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This was in relation to that thief question, going a little forward. You also said we all have this Atma Sakshi, that is the guidance of the Lord. And we all have this stubbornness and minute independence, which we misuse. Now, there are habitual offenders, criminals and molesters, rapists, murderers, and all. Don't they have this Atma Sakshi? Or, the Lord wouldn't sanction such terrible crimes.
Yeah.
So, how does this work with them?
It is told, no, they have killed it is so, while telling it is said, they have killed their Atma Sakshi. It doesn't mean that you cannot kill the super soul, but you have, just like you have a child who never listened to his parents. For him, whether parents are alive or not, it doesn't make any difference. Similarly, whether Paramatma is there or not in his heart, anyhow, he is not at all listening to them, then it is like killing that Atma Sakshi.
Sorry, Prabhu, please go on.
When he commits the sin for the first time, there is fear. That means the Paramatma is audible or he is speaking loudly. But as you go on increasing your sin, then the mode will grab him downwards. The consciousness comes down. The animals, they eat stool. Why? Because their consciousness is so dull that they don't feel it bad. Similarly, a person, when he constantly, continuously commits any kind of sin more and more, his consciousness goes down and down and down. He don't feel that it's wrong. The Paramatma is telling, yes, he is there. He's still speaking, but I'm not able to hear because so much of noise is there. Now, if 10 people are shouting around me and somebody is coming and speaking to me, I can't hear anything. Because these desires are shouting. You have to do this, you have to do that. And when somebody commits sinful activity, there are so much of reaction coming. When a person gets entangled with all these things, there is hardly any time to listen to the soul, super soul. That's why people get into meditation. What they say, I speak to myself, or they just calm down their mind. The yoga chitta vritti nirodha, as they say, just stop all the activities of the mind. Try to hear. But we say that you concentrate on the Lord, the Supreme Personality of God, Shri Krishna, then everything will be perfect.
But Prabhu, most of these habitual offenders and criminals usually say it's a compulsion that I can't, stop it. And some people also say that, it's the past karma acting up, so I have to do it and finish off with it and go ahead. That doesn't make much sense. So is it like that?
There is two things. One is the addiction. Other one is whatever you told, past karma. If it is past karma, then it has to come and go. It should not be continuously happening unless he is endeavoring for it. Yes, that is also a possibility. Where he has done some activity in his past life so that he is behaving like this, but it will happen once and it will get cleared and go away. But since he's got addicted, he'll continue to commit this sinful activity.
Okay,
anyhow, karma cannot be analyzed so clearly unless we go specifically for a person. We cannot generalize anything because there are so many reasons for different reactions.
Yes,
Karmana gahana gati.
Yeah. Gahana karmano gati.
Gahana karmano gati.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mata Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question that we conditioned soul, we are in the clutches of the illusory energy. How do we distinguish between the inner voice, that is the soul telling us, and the voice of the Lord? That is, how do we distinguish? Because all of us have the conscience, like keep on telling, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. So is it the soul telling us that it is, or it is the super soul? Because we are in the clutches of the illusory energy. We cannot hear the voice of the Lord. Who
we are?
We are the soul.
There is an answer, no? You're telling soul is speaking or the super soul. Soul is hearing, super soul is speaking.
Okay. So the inner voice is the soul, no, Prabhuji?
Super soul. The Lord is speaking.
The inner voice is the Lord is speaking.
Yeah.
I give you a practical example, Prabhuji. What has happened, I'll tell you. I don't know whether I'm right.
If it is personal, okay, let me stop the live. Just